Tonight, I'm going out of town, taking the train to Veronaville. After this morning, I received a letter and simoleons from the Anonymous to solve the murder case of Consort Capp in the Capp Manor. Consort Capp has been murdered. You are hired to solve the case. Capp Manor, 108 Farm Avenue, Veronaville. The letter also contains the news published by Veronaville, mentioned that the man dies by suicide. Interesting. I actually had no idea who Consort Capp was, so I tried to find some information about the Capp family living in Veronaville. The Capp family is a large family who lives in Veronaville. This noble family has been living in the manor for 5 generations. Consort Thieb is the CEO, and he's the son of late Hector and Androma Thieb. When he married to Contessa Capp, he gave into their matrimonial traditions and took his wife's last name. As his wife Contessa deceased few months ago due to the old age, he is now the patriarch of the house in the Capp family. He had a total of 4 children with Goneril, Regan, Kent, and Cordelia. Goneril married to Albany Norman and had 4 children: Miranda, Hal, Desdemona, and Ariel. Regan married to Cornwall Dane, and Cordelia married to Caliban Gale and had 3 children: Tybalt, Juliet, and Hermia. In the Capp family, the husband takes the wife's last name, meaning that the family is matrilineal. And another interesting fact is that they are involved in a feud with the Monty family, another large and wealthy family living in Veronaville. Reading about the family background, I guess it is about the inheritance fight inside the family. And the suspect must be one of the family member itself. Or maybe it has something to do with their family rival, the Monty. Well, we'll find out. When I arrived, the police officers had been summoning the family member one by one to the living room for the questioning. And of course, everybody including the police officers questioned me who I was. And I just said that I was hired by the Anonymous to work with the police solving the murder case of this family patriarch. And I still had no idea who could that be. At times, private detectives are put on a retainer to give a second or an alternative opinion on a police case. In cases like these, private detectives work with the law enforcement as ultimately both parties are in search of the same end result: the truth. So basically all the Capp family members living together in this manor except some of the grandchildren. The late patriarch Consort Capp, the first daughter Goneril, and her husband Albany, who had 4 kids. For some reason, their 3 youngest kids, Hal, Desdemona, and Ariel, are living with their grandparents, Richard Norman and Anne Norman, in Rebel Blossom Hills, and once a week they spend the time together there. The oldest daughter, Miranda, is living in the private school boarding house. The second daughter is Regan with her husband Cornwall. The third one is the only son of this family, Kent. The youngest one is Cordelia with her husband Caliban. They have 3 kids. The oldest son, Tybalt, is living in the manor as he is the first grandson of this family. Another 2 kids, Juliet and Hermia, are living in the same boarding house with their cousin Miranda. If you wonder why the family split the living or why the married one do not live in their own, that's just Consort's rule. That's the only reason they told me. Oh, another one living in the manor was the butler to Consort and Contessa, Ragnar Eriksson. He was not in the manor at that time, since after Contessa passing, he just actually came 3 days in a week, Monday to Tuesday and half day in Thursday. Now Let's talk about the victim, Consort. He was found dead in his bedroom and it was locked from the inside. Cause of that was the fatal cutthroat injury by the sharp weapon. In this case, it was a knife. The case was closed before and claimed as committed suicide, as the room was locked from the inside and the only fingerprint left on the weapon was no one else's but Consort's. That was the police report I read. But most of the family members could not accept that, so they want the case to be reopened for further investigation because they believe that somebody has murdered Consort. And yes, the suspect could be the family member itself. So now let's see how the casting goes. Start with Goneril Capp. She's the first daughter in the family. She also holds the position as a vice president in the family business. She was the one that found the body. It was around 8:35 in the morning. The family always have a breakfast together at 8:30, except Tybalt. On the weekday, he has his breakfast at school. Goneril is responsible to check on Consort whether he wants to have his breakfast together or in his bedroom or just to skip it. That morning, Goneril went to Consort's bedroom and knocked the door to tell him that the breakfast was ready. She did not hear him responding, but she heard the bathroom door open from the inside the room and the water flew. So she just left and thought that Consort was in the bathroom. Five minutes later, she checked again, but the bedroom door was locked, so she tried to enter the room from the bathroom, and she was shocked to find Consort on the floor. She saw the knife on the floor next to his right hand, and he was dead. Tybalt Capp. He is the first grandson of the family. On the day when the body was found, he was not in the manor. He already left to school from 7 a.m. Nothing suspicious to him, but in the night before his grandfather was killed, he heard a fight between Consort and his uncle Kent in the bathroom when he was in the bathroom next to it. Since the fight among the members is kind of common thing in his family, so he did not think it was something unusual. What he heard was just Consort shouted, "You excluded," and Ken shouted back, "You have to end this." Then he just walked away. Albany Capp. Albany is Goneril's husband, the family man. He said that his marriage with his wife was arranged by the family, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't love his wife. The age gap between him and his wife make him a brother and even a father-like to Goneril. And in that morning, he was in the dining room with the other member waiting for Consort. Kent Capp. Kent is the only son in the fourth generations of the Capp family. He came the latest for the breakfast as he always did, and sometimes he came to the table after Consort. He also came late at his father's funeral. He said it was because he had a stomach problem. And about the fight Tybalt heard before, he said it was just about a small argument between him and his father because he had a friend from one of the Monty, which against his family wish. He was also pursuing his science career instead of getting involved in family business, which his father disapproved. Continue to Regan Capp. Regan is the second child in the family. She was in charge of cooking at that day together with her sister Cordelia. She said that she seldom have a personal talk with her father. The last one was a week ago. They were talking about Consort wanted her to continue the family business, while she determined to make it on her own steam instead of just her parents' money.
Adrian.
Milo voi! Che vuoi dire? Milo con a pack!
Cornwall Capp, Regan's husband. They have no kid, and this ambitious man is the precedence in the Capp family business. It seems that he's going to be one of the strongest candidates to replace Consort's position as the CEO after his passing. He was in the dining room together with the other member the morning his father-in-law was killed. Cordelia Capp. She's the youngest daughter in the family. Together with her sister Regan, she was preparing the breakfast that morning. She seems to be the nicest one among the other family members, and she cried a lot during the questioning. No much crucial information we got from her. The last one is Caliban Capp. He is Cordelia's husband. He is also the strongest candidate of the CEO replacement. He is in the competition with his brother-in-law to get that position. And apparently, the company has two presidents. Each of them has different responsibility. Caliban takes care of the human resource and finance department, while Cornwall takes care of the business strategy and marketing department. Consort had a talk with him and Cornwall 2 days before he died. And of course, talking about the CEO position, as Consort actually want to be retired anytime soon. He wanted both to prove him the loyalty and commitment to the family business before he finally appoint one of them to be his successor.
Melemo no vai sabro lady. Elemenano. Well, Luis. Melemo
Et là, c'est là-bas?
Kidos.
Ça va, hein? Effort.
Mimi sibi. Pabindato.
Well, there are three basic motives for the murder: money, love, and revenge. And most of them has a motive to kill Consort. I went around the entire manor until I spot a tiny burnt piece of a photo, I guess, and a fireplace in the dining room. What is it? It's getting interesting. Then I went to the family graveyard, which is located on the right side of the manor, where Consort was buried. On the way there, I saw Caliban and Cornwall arguing in the front of the garden. Well, easy to guess, those gentlemen are fighting about the CEO position. So here's the family graveyard. It seemed that some of their ancestors are also buried here. And I met Cordelia there and we had a small talk. She was really sad of the loss. She said that she's a bit worried about the family condition after Consort passed away. Her oldest sister might want to be the house lady and rule everything. It started to be seen after their mother, Contessa, died a few months ago. The fight between his husband and her brother-in-law might also get worse. And Regan might also find her own place after this. Then I asked her about the butler since I did not see him since I arrived here. She said his name is Ragnar Eriksson. Goneril did not want him to come anymore right after Consort died. She also forbid him to come to the funeral. Goneril never likes Ragnar since the beginning. If it is not because of her mom, she would have fired him from a long time ago. It was also Goneril who decided to cut his service day to only 2.5 days a week after her mother died. I asked her where he lives and she gave me the address. Well, of course I'm not going to not go there. It was 20 via Veronaville, around 1 kilometer from here. I could see the window of Consort bathroom from here, so I decided to go closer. Oh, what is this dirt? To continue my findings, I went to the back of the manor and I found another dirt on the window. Well, no one noticed this dirt on the window, and I also saw the newspaper was not picked up, so I assumed that the butler, the one that seemed also take care of the house, was not here from the day Consort killed, and Consort might be the only one in this house who read the newspaper daily. But it was only one newspaper, wasn't it? And if I were right, the newspaper was not the one that published the news about the suicide, so its pages should be still complete. I got it. The one hired me solving this case was definitely one of them. And now let's get back again to the window investigation. So this window I saw from the other side before is the window next to the right staircase to the second floor. Well, there you go. The second floor were all the family members' bathroom except Consort's. So now let's check on the master's bathroom. And yes, you can find another thing here. You see that? It was so obvious that somebody jumped out the window from Consort bathroom then jumped in to get into the house. But who did that? And this bathroom is accessible from the living room and also the bathroom. This is where Tybalt accidentally heard about the fight between his uncle and his grandfather. You excluded, and then you have to end this. That's what he said he heard. And what do you guys think about this? Can you imagine the whole image of it? Alright, I guess I have found many puzzle pieces here, and I don't want to waste any time. Let's find another pieces to put from the Butler, Ragnar Eriksson. Ragnar has been serving the Capp family for over 10 years. He knows many things in the family, even the things that the other family member doesn't know. He feels so sad that Consort has passed away. Moreover, Gonerill has unofficially fired him and even disallowed him to come to the funeral, to at least give him the last honor. So I asked him to tell everything he knows about the family, starting with Consort and the family feud with the Monty. Consort Capp used to be the best friend and former business partner of Patricio Monty, the patriarch of the Monty family. Additionally, Contessa Capp also used to be Patricio's romantic interest. After he fell out with Patricio during a business deal, Patricio was fired and became the bitter enemies. Contessa also left Patricio to marry Consort. Afterwards, Patricio then went into the culinary business where he met his wife, Isabella Pantalon. But the feud continues to their younger generations. Based on Ragnar's point of view, only Cordelia and Bianca Monty, the youngest child of the Monty family, who seems against the feud. Cordelia is such a nice and adorable noble lady. And inside the Capp family itself, it seems that not only Cordelia who hates this brutal feud between the family, but also her daughter, Juliet. She cannot deny her feeling to Romeo Monty, the first grandson in the Monty family. Well, yes, I guess I agree with Ragnar. I can see that from Cordelia. When I talked to her earlier, she seemed genuine with her feeling. And it is unknown whether the husband, Caliban, married her for her wealth or because they loved each other. However, it has been noted that they show a strong chemistry, and he had much larger part of raising his children than his wife. Gonerill and Albany. Gonerill is such a cruel lady in the family. She really wants to rule everything, and the passing of the family matriarch and the patriarch will just make her more into the power. Ragnar has ever told by Consort that Gonerill was trying to make the manor as a property under her name, but of course Consort did not approve that. Gonerill pushed him to sign some of the legal document which he ignored. He did not even see what is stated inside. Albany is a family man. He tries hard to convince them that family is important. But some of the family members think that he married Gonerill just for the money. And the one that intensely attacked him with that statement is Ken, his brother-in-law. And he was very upset when Consort advised them to leave their children living with Albany's parents, even though he said that it was for the best. After Contessa passed away, Consort started consulting his lawyer to draft his will. He did not tell him further about the will, but he said that everything would be given equally to all the family heirs, and Ragnar was included. Included? Consort also planned to give the CEO position to one of his son-in-law. Yep, Conroll and Caliban. Those two are the strongest since Kent and Albany were not pursuing the business field. Wait a minute, before we continue, I think I heard a new name here. Bianca Monte, correct? So I asked him to give us more detail of this lady from the Monte. And he started to explain the detail by telling us about Ken Capp. He is considered the black sheep of the family. Ken loves knowledge more than the fortune, and that's why he is pursuing his career in science instead of joining the business as the rest of his sisters and brothers in the family. Kent and Bianca Monte had been friends since they were children despite the feud between their family. Kent was often lectured by Consort for going over to Bianca's house against his wishes. Bianca's father, Patricio, did his best to keep Kent off his property and discourage Bianca from going over to Kent's house, but the two of them always found ways to stay in touch. But he is still enemy with Bianca's parents, Patricio and Isabella. As Kent grew older, his life became more tough. His father was pleased to hear that his eldest daughters were planning to join him in the business career, but he was most disappointed when the answer he got from Kent was not the same as the answer Goneril and Regan gave him. And his father also sensed that Kent has turned his friendship with Bianca into a romantic relationship behind his back, and he resented that. Regan and Cornwall. Regan is very neat, moderately active, and somewhat nice, as well as being serious and shy. Despite like many of her fellow Capps, she is highly interested in money, but she determined to make it in business and on her own steam instead of just her parents' money. The marriage of Regan and Cornwall was likely arranged, which could explain why they have a poor relationship and are not in love. Judging by the Cornwall's personality and aspiration, he probably only married Regan for her money and to get a job in her family's business. And no wonder why Goneril hates Ragnar. This guy knows too much. Oh my god, everybody is crazy about the money here, and their feud with the Montes make it more complicated and worse. But my puzzle is near to complete. Let's elaborate. Goneril has a motive to kill her father as he strongly rejected to sign the legal document to make the property under her name. Besides that, Goneril is the one that found the body. She said that she heard Consort was in the bathroom, but she could be lying since no one actually witnessed what she heard. And it just doesn't make sense if Consort killed himself after taking a bath, because he was found dead in his pajama. And why did he take a bath if he planned to commit suicide a few minutes after? So he was obviously murdered long hours ago when he was sleeping, and the body was found in the morning. Albany hates Consort's decision to separate his family, even though he can visit the kids in Rival Blossom Hills anytime he wants. Well, seeing the family condition, maybe it is also best for kids living in a peaceful home with their grandparents than living in a manor full of fights and keep the feud with other family from generation to generation. Albany hates Ken for keep accusing that he married his sister for the money. Well, if what Ken accused was true, Albany would have been involved in the business fighting with other brothers-in-law, wouldn't he? Regan, nothing against her father than independency of pursuing the business career by her own. But it's still the same line anyway. Business, fortune, money. Kent, what? A scientist who is romantically involved with the daughter of his family's mortal enemy? Cornwall and Caliban. If they in such a dirty competition for the CEO position, they might want to get rid of each other, don't they? Not the one that will give them the position, their powerful and wealthy father-in-law, Consort Capp. Wait a minute. Among those conflicts they have in the family, there is actually only one that Consort resents the most until his death. Oh, of course. I know it. You are excluded. You have to end this. The dirt on the window, the water sound from the bathroom, the burnt photo, the grandchildren living far from their parents in the Grand Manor, and the anonymous hired me. I solved the case. Let's go back to the manor. Let me clarify. Among all these conflicts in the family, the feud with the Monty is the one that Consort resents the most. He moved some of the grandchildren just to keep them away from the Monty family right after he knew that Juliet had a crush with Romeo Monty. So it's obvious that the one who cannot please the father with the chosen career and also his feeling toward one of the Monty, Ken he is. He murdered his father the night after he had a fight with him. He felt so lost and angry after his father said that he will be excluded from the will because he is in love with Bianca Monty. Consort probably had a photo evidence of Kent being with Bianca that Ken burned and unfortunately left the small pieces that he did not notice. So in that fight at night, Consort confronted him with some photos evidence and he was so angry and said that Ken would be excluded from the will. And Ken said to Consort that you have to end this. This refers to the feud with the Monty. He wanted Consort to end the feud that has been there for generations. He truly loves Bianca. And somebody with the least power in the family and hated Ken for accusing the things that was not true, hired me to solve the case, because he had a strong feeling that Ken did this unforgivable crime. He picked up the newspaper that published the news about the suicide, so that was why the expired and picked up newspaper was still there since the butler did not come anymore a day after Consort died. Yes, it was Albany.
Popara pa kalamlab! Ni lebi, kwelebi debi! Oy na ble! Ni mega, kwelebi debi! Ni lebi, kwelebi debi! Oy na ble! Popara pa kalamlab! Dumala sayda!
Odele pate!
Enamala salimid!
Odele!
Kiwala, kawadebi!
Ne parete peletele, popa palela! Nura vasana! Brave!
Shidi. Cheso.
Oh, Prusen! Se puede. Se puede. Se nala foco. Se ni le vo. Se fa la se pi fo. Ni le fa. Come se la. Voilà nena. Se puede. Ni la. Se fue. Se fue. Definitely.
The boundaries which divide life from death are at best shadowy and vague. Who shall say where the one ends and where the other begins? Edgar Allan Poe.